Welcome to another episode of Slasher Sundays. I really look forward to this now every week. And speaking of which, somebody else who really looks forward to this, a shout out I definitely want to give is to Ray Robinson. Man, you have been such a fantastic supporter of mine. Thank you so much. Seriously, man, it means a lot to me. I'm very glad that we got to be friends on Facebook, and now you kind of get to see behind the scenes with what I talk about all day. So you kick fucking ass, dude, for real. All right, so number one, let's get this going. So we are talking about the Mutilator today, aka Fall Break. Now, some of the slashers that I want, I have a poster up on my wall. I can't show you, but I have a Mutilator poster up there framed. I had a few slasher films that I really desperately wanted on Blu-ray, and that was like Blood Rage, The Mutilator, Pieces, and The Mutilator and Blood Rage got like announced together, and they got released near exactly the same time from Arrow. Arrow has made so many of my dreams come true. This is one of them. This was the first time that I've watched the Blu-ray since I bought it for some fucking unknown reason, but it is one of the main reasons I wanted to pick this for this week, because I've been wanting so bad to watch this, and oh my god, the Blu-ray is fantastic. The film stock in which they had to work with wasn't all that great. I read the whole insert thing when it talked about them restoring it and how this and that, but man, for the film stock that they had, the quality, whatever, I think it looks fucking fantastic, and it has been restored to its full uncut version. And let me tell you, man, I haven't seen this in a while, and I have always loved it. I've thought it's one of the best slashers, and honestly, I would put this in my top 10 now after watching it tonight. It's better than I even remember. Maybe because this is the uncut version, and this is the first time I think I've ever seen the fully uncut version, and let me tell you, man, it is brutal. It is gory. The gore is great. The kills are great. Oh man, what a fucking fun movie. Buy sword, buy pick, buy axe, buy. Seriously. You know, he uses a whole bunch of different weapons here. So let's get into the movie itself. This movie is known for its really fucked up opening, and I just love the opening. Kid's cleaning in the guns for his dad, like puts a note up there. He's trying to be all sweet. Why you would leave loaded guns in a cabinet that's not even locked, where there's a kid in the house. Whose fucking fault is this really, Dad? Come on, think. And then blows the mom away. Dad comes home, and he sits on the couch and he puts the note on the mom's dead body and like gives her a drink of whiskey. I love how just screwed up the guy gets in the head. And then we cut to the kids getting together. They're gonna go to the house for the weekend, fall break, whatever. And they jump in the car and cue up that Fall Break theme song. God, I love it. It's so awesome. Whether or not that song was actually written for this movie itself, I do not know. But either way, it's so corny. I adore this song. And I also love how the credits actually stop like mid-credits. Like it's rolling credits the whole time. Then it stops so that a guy can do a beer run and argue over a 10% discount. And he thinks he swindled the liquor store, but then the girl comes out and we see that they were actually the ones that got swindled, because every college kid tries to pull that prank, which I just find far-fetched, but whatever, who cares? Oh man, I adore this fucking movie. Then we get back to the credits and back to the movie. The acting in this movie is horrendously amazing. Oh god, some of the best. Especially with the characters Ralph and Mike. Both of them are just standout, hilarious, over the top, goofy. Love both of those characters so much. So much great dialogue from them. So many great, scenes where they're just going above and beyond for those Oscars they never received. What a shame. And yet again, we know we're watching a 1980s film because we've got drinking and driving. Literally all of them have beers in their hands when they pull up, and they just like downing them. The driver, everyone. Nobody cares. It's a different time. I don't know if it's a better time, but it's a different time. I love how that when they go into the house and they're looking through this dad's trophy room with all of the killing he has on the wall, he has a picture of a guy he maimed with a speedboat hanging on the wall, and you know, the son's response to that is like, oh, it was an accident. And it's like, it was an accident, and he hangs it on his trophy wall framed, a picture of the guy's mutilated body as he's bleeding from his chest. Yeah, I think I would probably ask to leave right then and there, especially when the big freaking battle axe is missing. It's ridiculous. I love that the dad is asleep in the garage, and we see him dream 3 different dreams in a row, and all 3 of them are different ways of murdering his son when he was a little kid. Like, he's just been dreaming about this. And this brings me back to another point that I make in all of these slasher movies, horror movies type things, especially the slasher movie, the revenge movies. It's this is the dad's fault, let's get that straight. But if we're in his mentality, and his mentality is that his son did it, his son is to blame in his mind. Why does his friends have to die? It's so unfair. He's had like 10, the kid was like, I don't even know, like maybe 10 or 7 or somewhere in that area, 7 to 10, and now he looks like he's like 30. I mean, he's probably supposed to be like 20, but he's had like at least 10 to 15 years to kill his son, but he waits for all of his friends to come and kills all of them first. Seems just insanely unfair, but it wouldn't be a fun movie unless there was a bunch of killing. We get something that definitely makes this a slasher movie, the POV slasher cam, which we really don't get a ton of. He doesn't really use it all that much, but it's here, and it's like, yep, gotta have that. Some of the music, because there's like the horror music, and then there's like the playful music that sounds like a 70s comedy television show. It is such odd music. A lot of horror movies, like especially Friday the 13th, at the end when like Jason pops up out of the water and it's in like slow-mo. This one has like choppy, like it's almost like it's been cut, like choppy and slow-mo. It's really weird slow-mo. I was noticing that this time because I can see it better than I've ever been able to see it before. Before, I just had a crappy bootleg because the only thing you could get this on was like a German DVD and a VHS, and I wanted, I didn't have a region free until pretty recently. And the scene when the guy and the girl go swimming, somehow the killer, I love that the killer takes off his clothes to get into the pool. Like, you don't want to get his clothes wet. You know, he knows better than that. He's a fisherman, but he's worried about getting his clothes wet. This water, and they do make a reference that it's been chlorined up. I mean, if it's so chlorined out that you can't see through it, probably shouldn't get in there. Although it kills herpes, I guess. But yeah, they're playing like peekaboo under the water. Like, one comes up, one comes down. Their little hippopotamus heads, and just kind of keep coming up and down. Somehow he's able to get in the water, stay underwater long enough to get to the girl, drown her, then somehow figure out what time that guy has went down so that he can grab the girl, take her out of the water, take the girl away, come back and grab the guy's clothes, take those away before the guy then comes up again. Wow. Yeah, I am supposed to just completely throw away all of my logic. But I will, because this is that kind of movie. The gore in this movie. God, some of the kills. The gaff, which is the big meat hook with the handle, the fish hook thing, through the vagina, up out the belly, and he like lifts her up. That girl, for some reason, fights him not at all. She just like willingly gets right up on the table, sits there as he shoves it up her, and then doesn't even scream out or anything. She needed to be coached a little better in the acting area, but that scene is fucking brutal. And then he gets cut in half by the car and he falls on the ground. His legs fall over, guts fall out. He's laying on the ground. Then a cop comes over to check on him and his half body cuts the guy's leg off. And we've got heads being lopped off from the mouth down, heads falling and flying. You gotta, like, whatever the hell, I think it was like a propeller blade, maybe, I don't know what he was using, but he like cut that guy's chest all up and like they showed and he's just bleeding everywhere. The gore is fantastic. It just doesn't get talked enough about. Like, I really think this is on par with some of the best out there with Savini type stuff. This is such good stuff. Does not get enough attention. My dear Lord, it's great. Hide and seek is just such a great game to play in a slasher film. It sets up so many great scares because everyone's hiding. Everyone, they don't know where each other are and they're supposed to be being quiet and there's just so many places you can set up stuff. Now, they're playing hide and seek, and every time someone comes in the room, there's a girl hiding behind the cooler, and she has her eyes open, and she's been looking the whole time. The killer enters the room, and two of the other characters are under the table when they can see as well. So how no one notices, maybe the Blu-ray cleaned it up and it was darker than it looked, but no one notices that this guy is not the main character. Mike, I think is the name. I was just laughing at that. Like, am I supposed, like, she's looking right at him. Like, her eyes are clearly wide open and she's looking at him walk right through the room. Like, I don't understand that scene at all. Like, did you not notice that wasn't, like, that was a 60-year-old man? Are you paying attention at all? Yeah. And I love that he keeps the bodies up on these hooks, like through the head. On the picture here, they're hung from like the back of their shirts and ropes and whatnot. I guess they just, I don't know why they did that, because the hook's right there, boom, back of the head, right through. And then he takes the cop, which he cuts his head off, and he puts the cop's head on there, and then he like ropes the rest of the body and like pulls it up to the head. Such great shit, man. This movie is amazing. Such a fucking fun revisit. And this fucking funny scene. There's so many like random little scenes thrown in, and it's when Ralph is told by his girlfriend, because he just keeps trying to fuck her throughout the movie, and she just is like, one more second, one more minute, and they just keep kind of going off and not doing it, and then she keeps pushing him away, and he's just like, fine, and he like goes down to check. But before he leaves, they do this like sped up vaudeville kind of style where he's like, it's playing some like saloon piano, and then he like comes and he does like the hat bow at the end of it. It's so fucking random. I love it. Oh god, he's such a great character. Pam looks a lot like Carrie Fisher to me. Anybody else think that? She really, really does. And typical like Randy from Scream, rules of horror, rules of the slasher film. We definitely have that going on here with the Virgin Living. And I like the little like quietly, the mutilator, the killer in the movie, he like walks right past the car as they're doing something really quietly and just subtle, just right across the camera. That's great stuff. I don't need it to always be like he's dead on the ground and then we go away and we're cut and then he's here and he's a burn and there's this loud music and jump scare and he comes out and like subtle stuff like that, like at the at the end of Halloween when he's just coming up the stairs subtly, or when Halloween. But yeah, I love when they do stuff like that. And when she burns his hand and she drags it and then she pulls it away and the skin's all like, built up into like a little mound and ripped across. Great makeup. Fuck, it's so good. And yeah, I can't say enough. So anyway, who's seen this movie? Anyone have this Blu-ray? I want to watch all the special features. Some commentaries on here, freaking loaded with special features. If you can get a copy of this, hopefully if you've watched all this, you've seen the movie, but if not, everything that's going to happen in it. But my God, is it so worth your time, and it's so worth a pickup. This is a fantastic pickup right here if you're a slasher fan. Anyway, guys, thank you as always. I can't wait for next Sunday to do another one. Until then, as I said, Ray, thank you so much, buddy. All right. Until next week, I'm getting ready for Monster Monday.